Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Stickyniks here, back with some more Reddit stories. In the background today, we're gonna have Minecraft Speedrunning Ranked. Basically, I'm gonna try and beat the game as fast as I can, and you are gonna hear me read some crazy betrayal stories today. I think all the stories today were from AITA relationships, so all of them have to do with relationships one way or another. I'm recording this after the fact, and I still feel betrayed after reading some of these stories, so thank you so much for being here in the first place, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe so you don't miss any. I am here posting these kinds of videos at least bi-weekly, if not every week, if I depending on what's going on in my life. So let's jump into story number one without further ado, and I hope you're having a good day. AITA for refusing to set my 5'3" brother up with anyone else unless he changes how he handles his height. I'm 31 female, and my younger brother, Evan, is 28 male and 5'3". He's a good looking guy, has a stable job, is funny, stays in shape, and has plenty of friends. Dating has been brutal for him, though, especially on apps. I'm not going to pretend height doesn't affect his options. He's received messages like, "You'd be perfect if you were taller." And one woman left to date after apparently not realizing what 5'3" looked like in person. I understand why he is defensive about it. The problem is that now he tries to identify every possible height issue before meeting somebody. I offered to introduce him to a friend. His first questions are how tall she is, whether she has dated a shorter man, and whether I explicitly told her he is 5'3". If he is taller than about 5'5", he assumes she will eventually be embarrassed by him, even if she says otherwise. On apps, his height is listed, but he also used to have a prompt saying, "Yes, I really am 5'3". If that bothers you, save us both the time. I convinced him to remove it because it sounded hostile. He replaced it with a joke about being the perfect height for economy seats. On dates, he apparently makes a height joke early so the woman cannot beat him to it. If she says she normally dates taller men but likes him, he hears that as her admitting she is not settling, or she is settling. If she says that height does not matter, he thinks she is being polite. There does not seem to be an answer that he trusts. Current argument started because I offered to introduce him to my coworker, Leah, who is 30 and around 5'7". Showed her a normal photo of Evan standing with other people, told her his height, and she still thought he was cute. Evan refused. He said a woman who is 4 inches taller and will inevitably feel awkward wearing heels, taking photos, or introducing him to her friends. I told him he was rejecting her on behalf of an imaginary future version of her. He's been jaded by going on dozens of first dates with slightly taller and some same height women who later say the same thing. I didn't feel a spark, but I really enjoyed the date. He said I had no idea what dating was like for a man of his height. That is fair. But I told him I would not arrange any more introductions unless he has agreed to stop doing 5 things. 1. No interrogating women about their complete height history before meeting them. No automatically excluding women because they are taller than him. No opening a date with a joke at his own expense. No treating every positive answer as either pity, dishonesty, or a fetish. If a woman actually mocks him or acts embarrassed, he can leave without trying to win her over. Also suggested that apps might be the worst possible place for him to put all his energy. He is much more relaxed and attractive when people meet him through friends, volunteering, or the recreational sports leagues he plays in. On apps, he seems to approach every match like she's about to reject him, and he needs to catch her doing it first. Evans said this was easy advice from someone who has never had to wonder whether a physical trait disqualifies her before she speaks. He and I was blaming his attitude because admitting that many women simply will not date a 5'3" man makes people uncomfortable. I told him that some women absolutely will reject him over his height, but those are not the women I am talking about. He does not need to persuade women who want a tall boyfriend. He needs to stop testing the women who already agreed to meet him. He's barely spoken to me since. Our mom thinks I was too harsh and I should keep introducing to people without attaching conditions. My husband thinks the conditions are reasonable because the setup also involves my reputation and my friends' feelings. I know insecurity does not appear out of nowhere. I may have reduced years of rejection just to be confident. At the same time, I don't want to send another friend into a date where she just has to prove repetitively that she's not secretly ashamed of him. Am I the asshole for refusing to set him up again unless he changes how he handles this? Okay, this is interesting. At first, I feel like I started to understand the brother's perspective, but as I continued to read, I realized I don't like him. I'm gonna say NTA, but also YTA. I don't think she has any obligation to be setting her brother up for dates. I've spoken about dating apps before as well. I've been actually I was literally reflecting on this today. I think it's so interesting how normalized it's become. People are embarrassed to say that they met their partner on a dating app, but this is the second person I've ran into that exclusively seems to use dating apps to meet their significant other. I don't know, that really interests me. This I can understand OP is trying to just help her brother, but at the same time, I don't know how she has so many friends to introduce him to. Honestly, like if I was trying to set my brother up with somebody, I couldn't even think of one friend. So I don't know how she has so many people to set her brother up with. I think that honestly she just needs to stop. I think he's also being very dramatic. And he's probably doing it to himself, honestly. You kind of get what you put out into this world. So if he's constantly being negative and just like assuming the worst, then he's never gonna find love. I'm sorry if that's brash, by the way. But I have found as soon as you stop looking, as soon as you stop putting all that effort in and just trying so hard to make something work that's not going to work, the universe is gonna reward you. As soon as you stop looking, what's meant to you is going to find you. Maybe you don't have to stop looking necessarily, but forcing anything is not going to help. What's meant to be will be. So I think she needs to stop suggesting people to her brother, and the brother also just needs to chill out. Evan, I know it's a fake name, but Evan. Oh man, he's making his whole life, his whole personality about how short he is, that not even giving anybody a chance to get to know him. I think it's so funny. By the way, I just want to mention the 5 rules. I think that's so funny. Just coming out with 5 rules. I would not put that much effort into anything just to force it to happen. But I don't know. Maybe that's just because I'm a little bit more good with the flow than most people. Let's see. Here's one comment that agrees with me. NTA. He's not ready to hear what was essentially just stop sabotaging the dates or I won't arrange anymore. But also, YTA. Women don't want this. Stop introducing your problematic relations to women. Your brother is a bitter, resentful man. Do you want to be introduced to a bitter, resentful man? When the man you're acquainted with are so awful that they can't get a second date, your job isn't to help them con an obvious idiot into a relationship. Ladies who walked away did so in their best interest. Introducing someone to your brother is asking her to do against what's her best interest. Yeah, that's it's a great way to put it, honestly. Like I said, I can give OP benefit of the doubt. She's just trying to help her brother out, but at the same time, one, how do you have so many friends? Two, why are you trying to put them through this? Honestly. Okay, let's move on to story number 2. It's gonna be like a 2, a 2.5, and a 3, and a 3.5. The other 2 stories are like long stories with an update. So we're gonna jump into the story and then go straight into the update. I think, unless I don't know. Keep in mind, I don't read these before I jump into it. If I have things to say, I'm gonna pause and say it. But let's jump into it without further ado. Story number 2. AITA for cutting off my daughter after she slept with her sister's husband. I, 59 female, have 2 daughters. Emma, 35 female, and Chloe, 33 female. Emma has been married to her husband, 36 male, for 11 years, and they have 2 children together. Chloe has been married to her husband, 34 male, for 8 years, and they have 1 5-year-old son. About 6 weeks ago, Emma called me just after midnight, completely hysterical. She told me she'd suspected for months that her husband was hiding something. He'd become distant, constantly guarded his phone, and was always finding excuses to stay late at work. That night, after he fell asleep beside her, she looked through his phone for the first time. She found years of explicit messages between him and Chloe. The affair had been going on for almost 4 years. Emma was devastated. She kept asking me how her own sister could do this to her. A few days later, we were at my brother's birthday party when Emma confronted Chloe outside. Chloe denied everything at first and insisted Emma has misunderstood. When Emma said she'd read the messages herself, Chloe completely fell apart. She started crying, admitted the affair, and kept repeating, I don't know why I did it. I'm so sorry. It was the biggest mistake of my life. Emma asked how 4 years could possibly be a mistake. Chloe had no answer. The argument escalated into a screaming match. Chloe tried to slap Emma, but several relatives stepped in before she could. Chloe's husband quietly took their son home after realizing what had happened. Within days, he told Chloe he wanted a divorce. Emma also filed after her husband admitted everything. After it all came out, Chloe called me 82 times in one day. I answered once because I hoped she was calling to explain herself. Instead, she cried the entire time, begging me not to abandon her. Said she'd already lost her husband, she was probably going to lose shared custody of her son, and couldn't bear losing her mother too. She said she knew she didn't deserve forgiveness, but begged me not to hate her forever. I told her I could not look at her in the same way anymore. I said this wasn't one bad decision. It was years of lying to her sister, her husband, and the rest of us. I told her I loved her because she's my daughter, but I didn't want contact with her for the foreseeable future. Since then, I've ignored every attempt she's made to reach out. This is where my family thinks I'm wrong. My sisters say Chloe has already lost everything: her marriage, her relationship with her sister, many of her friends, and likely the family she dreamed of giving her son. They say she's genuinely remorseful and has started individual therapy and isn't going to justify what she did. They argue that if a mother won't stand by her child after they've hit rock bottom, who will? They also reminded me that cutting Chloe off means my grandson is still growing up without his grandmother, even though he's done nothing wrong. I understand all of that. But every time I think about welcoming Chloe back into my life, I picture Emma reading those messages alone in the middle of the night, realizing that the two people she trusted most had been lying to her for years. I don't know if I can move past that. My family says I'm punishing Chloe forever for something she already deeply regrets. I feel like I'm simply refusing to pretend it never happened. AITA, I know a lot of people are used to seeing cheating posts and always think they're fake, but what would you do if you were in my shoes? Wow, that's a lot to unpack. I am wondering, oh, she said 6 weeks ago. Okay, so this has happened within the last 6 weeks, so it's been 8 weeks now. This post was 13 days ago. I am gonna rule right now that mother is NTA because it's not been long enough. Honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with time. First of all, if this person, if her daughter was doing this for years and nobody had any idea or any clue, she did this for 4 years. Keep in mind, okay? Who knows what this chick is actually like? Somebody who can lie to her husband, her sister, her sister's husband, and her entire family for years on end about an affair like this is not somebody I know. So I'm right there with mom. Even if I don't know, I'm not a mother personally. I don't understand the relationship that mothers have with their children. But at a base level, as a human being, she had done this for 4 years, and that is, my gosh, what is the word? Hold on. Deplorable. That is the word I am thinking of. Deplorable. Oh my goodness. Let's read some comments. Top comment says, NTA, she's not genuinely remorseful. She's sad she got caught and is facing consequences. Can't you have a relationship with your grandson via his father? Tell your sisters to mind their own business. This is between you and your daughters, nothing to do with them. Another comment says, NTA, Chloe's only regretful because she's been caught. It's not like it's been a one-time thing or even a couple months. It was 4 years. That requires active decision making, not only continue the affair, but to hide it from her husband and her family. I think the space right now is definitely needed. Try to find a way to stay in contact with your grandson's father. I personally believe if you cut out Chloe, that may make things easier for your ex-son-in-law to trust and allow you to visit, if he gets sole custody. She's an adult and has to live with her choices. I want to be able to speak with my sibling if they did this to me. I think as a parent, you love your child no matter what, and you still can. Doesn't mean you're the asshole if you cut contact with Chloe. Whether it's permanent or not is up to you. Chloe made this choice, and there are consequences. She lost everything because her and Emma's husband destroyed each other's lives and marriages. That's the worst thing you can do to a sibling. Yeah, that was really well said, honestly. It's not like this cutting contact needs to be forever. I think, I don't know, it's easier said than done, but I'm pretty against enabling people. I've been watching a lot of Super Nanny recently. I realized that if there's like behavior going on that you don't like, you can't enable it. You can't interact with it. Of course, I'm talking about like a little child sitting in timeout that just wants to talk to their mom, and the mom needs to ignore them for it to be effective. But this is a grander scale of that. We can't talk to her. We can't talk to her. She's never gonna learn. This is something that needs to take years to reflect on. and she's going to work with her therapist and hopefully attempt to get forgiveness from the family. But I wouldn't blame anybody for not wanting to continue contact with her. You got to put the face mask on yourself before you can put it on anybody else. So you got to look out for yourself. And this person was not doing that. So as hard as it could be, I'm not going to deny the fact that this is like a heartbreaking situation. Okay, but I think it's very strong and admirable that this mother is able to make that choice, because I truly don't think the other daughter would learn if anybody stayed in contact with her, because then she'll feel like she can do anything. Keep doing it. Okay, let's read the update. It's from 10 days ago, so this was 3 days after the original post. I know it's very early for me to post an update, and I wasn't planning on it, but after reading the comments of my first post, I decided I needed one final conversation with Chloe before I completely closed the door. I went to her house yesterday, and I expected her to be emotional after calling me 82 times in one day, but she was surprisingly calm. I asked her the one question I still couldn't understand. Why? She'd admitted she'd been attracted to Emma's husband for years. She said what started as admiration eventually became feelings, and over time they crossed a line. Instead of ending it, they kept convincing themselves it would be the last time. She insisted she regretted everything. I'd asked if she had spoken to Emma. She told me the only contact she had was one text before Emma blocked her on everything. Emma told her she destroyed their family, taken away their children's stable home, and that she hoped the affair had been worth losing a sister forever because, as far as she was concerned, Chloe no longer had one. Emma blocked her immediately afterward. Chloe also admitted she later waited outside the school gates hoping to speak with Emma when she came to collect the kids. Emma refused to speak to her and warned her to stay away from her and the children, and that if she ever approached them again, she'd regret it. Chloe left crying. I told Chloe waiting outside the school was completely inappropriate, regardless of her intentions. She insisted she only wanted to apologize and prove she cared about Emma. I then asked if she truly felt remorse. That's when I completely lost my patience. Instead of taking full responsibility, Chloe started telling me Emma's marriage had already been falling apart. That Emma and her husband had been drifting apart for years, and that he often confided in her. She admitted the affair was wrong, but repeatedly tried to place part of the blame on Emma, saying if their marriage had been happier, none of this would have happened. I was furious. I honestly couldn't believe I raised someone capable of thinking like that. I told her there is no marriage bad enough to justify secretly sleeping with your own sister's husband for 4 years. I told her I wasn't just disappointed, I was ashamed that she was my daughter. The more she tried to justify herself, the angrier I became. The conversation eventually turned to her own divorce. She talked about how difficult everything had been for her and how her husband still plans to move to Washington with their son to be closer to his family. She said she may have to move there too if she wants to stay close to him. As she spoke, I realized almost everything about what she had lost: her marriage, her home, her reputation, possibly seeing her son every day. Very little of it was about Emma or the damage she had caused. At the end of the conversation, Chloe asked if we were cool now. I told her no, we were not cool, and we might never be. I said if I ever found it in my heart to reconcile with her, it would be on my terms and on my own time, not because she thought one conversation would erase 4 years of lies and betrayal. I walked out feeling angrier than when I arrived. I honestly don't know what to do anymore. I love both my daughters, but after that conversation, I'm not convinced Chloe truly understands the pain she's caused. Holy shit. This is awful. I read a story like this, I think like last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't understand women. I'm sorry. I don't understand women who will blame. Okay, so they're the other woman, so like the original woman, I guess. So in this case, Chloe blaming Emma for cheating on her or for causing this affair. I'm sorry, hold on. The names are confusing me. God, it's like a pick me mentality. The other woman who is having an affair with this person's husband is going to blame the wife for it because she couldn't please the husband enough because they weren't happy. And if she just saw the signs, then their relationship would have been fine. Oh my God. Why is this the second time I've heard of this same logic being used in an affair story? That is absolutely awful. Also, it kind of scares me in this update that she called 82 times in one day but was surprisingly calm in person. That's horrifying. I'm officially terrified of Chloe. I'm obviously not a medical professional, but I'm gonna call this person a narcissist again, because that's insane. She's couldn't even take ownership when mom was there. I don't know. This whole update pissed me off too. I was kind of hoping for like a more positive update for mom, honestly, knowing that there was going to be an update. But calling mom 82 times and then being extremely calm in person, blaming your sister for her marriage failing, and that's why you slept with her husband, and then showing up to the kids' school, that's insane. By the way, that's insane. That behavior, she should be in jail. Don't bring the kids into it. Oh my god. Then blaming the marriage falling apart on this. She has her own 5-year-old son, by the way. So she started doing this when her kid was 1. And then selfishly all that she's worried about is I guess being able to see her own kid that she I don't know. I think she betrayed everybody in this story. Shout out mom for sticking to her guns, saying that we're not cool still, because what the heck. Oh, here's a comment that might explain my thoughts a little bit better. Why does the other woman always blame the my marriage is falling apart and I'm not actually close to my wife bullshit every single time? We all know this man would have happily remained in his marriage with his side chick sister-in-law forever if Emma didn't find him out. Well, he's probably begging Emma in text to give him another chance, and that Chloe means nothing to him. Tale is told this time, but women keep falling for it. Baffling. Yeah. I Another thing that I just realized is if it wasn't the sister, then this guy would have done it anyway. Like, sure, this marriage might have been doomed to fail. Chloe, that doesn't mean that you needed to sleep with your sister's husband. Okay, that doesn't justify ruining your marriage and your sister's marriage and your entire life and kicking everybody out of your life and then questioning themselves too. Like, I feel bad for mom here. Mom's probably questioning her parenting at this point. She's like, how did this thing come out of me? This is like the most egregious behavior that she's probably witnessed from her daughter in their entire life. And I feel bad for everybody except for Chloe. And honestly, Chloe should just move to Washington and start a new life and hopefully not repeat this cycle, because holy cow. I'm gonna see if there's a third update or anything. Okay, no updates or final updates so far, but long story short, Chloe slept with Emma's husband, tried to slap Emma, blamed Emma for her marriage falling apart, and that's why she decided to sleep with her husband. And then asked mom if they're cool by the end of it. Mom is NTA. Okay, Chloe, I don't know if you're hearing this, girl. I don't know if you're ever gonna hear this. You're an asshole. Okay, holy shit. Okay, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, that's insane. Okay. Sorry for all the vulgarities. That story was absolutely awful. Let's hope this last one will top it, huh? So that was story 2 and 2.5. Let's jump into story number 3. Before we do that, thank you so much for being here in the first place. If you're still watching this video, big kiss on the cheek for you. I appreciate you so much for just being here at all. Whether I'm on a second monitor, a TV, or whatever it is, I just appreciate you for listening to me. If you're watching the awful speedrunning gameplay on the screen, I do apologize. I'm working on getting actually I'm not really working on getting better. I just love it. I just think it's so fun. So whatever capacity that you're watching this in, I just want to, I don't know, give you a big hug right now. I appreciate you so much. I've been having a lot of fun doing this, so I hope you're having a lot of fun listening as well. And don't hesitate to give me some feedback, comments. Been a while since I've asked for that. So let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. And I appreciate you. And I'm glad you were born. Okay, let's jump into story number 3. AITA for canceling my boyfriend's birthday trip after finding out what he rated me in a group chat. Oh gosh, yeah, I remember the title of this one now. This is gonna be good. I, 26 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 27 male, for almost 2 years. Overall relationship has been great. We rarely fight, we've talked about moving in together, and honestly thought we were on the same page. Last week, he asked me to use his laptop to print something because his phone was dead. While I was emailing the file to myself, Discord popped up with a notification from his Discord friends. There were 30 plus people in it. I wasn't trained to snoop, but the message literally said, "She'll never find out." Curiosity got the better of me. Conversation was basically his friends, ranking girls they've dated from 1 to 10. My boyfriend gave me a 7. That hurt enough, but what really got me was what he wrote after. He said I was wife material because she's loyal and easygoing, but if I could combine her with personality with my ex's body, she'd be perfect. There were laughing emojis from everyone. I closed the laptop and didn't say anything that night. The next morning, I'd canceled the weekend trip I'd booked for his birthday. Paid for the hotel, activities, everything. It wasn't refundable, but I'd rather lose the money than celebrate someone who talks about me like that behind my back. When he found out, he apologized over and over and said it was just guy talk, and that he only said it because everyone else was roasting their girlfriends. Now his friends are messaging me saying I invaded his privacy and ruined his birthday over a joke. My friends think that if that's how he talks to me when I'm not around, I should rethink the whole relationship. He's begging for another chance and says I'm throwing away 2 years over one stupid conversation. Am I the asshole? Edit. I talked with my best friend and we are going on the trip together. After the trip, I'm going to reconsider this relationship. I did not have the time to cancel, so the money is not gone. Hey, that's good. At least she's going with her friend. Okay, wow, a lot to unpack here. First of all, not the asshole. I'm already going to say that. This guy sucks. And I am glad she found this out, honestly, especially before they moved in or anything. It sounds like this person is very emotionally intelligent. She's not one of the people that just like moves in with their partner frame one. It sounds like they've been dating for 2 years. It seems like it's been going well, but you don't really know somebody unless you go through their Discord, you know? A Discord server with 30 plus people in it, and if it's all guys with messages saying she'll never find out popping up, it, like, first of all, that's red flag number 1. It's not your fault that curiosity got the better of you, girl. I personally don't go through my partner's phone. However, if I wanted to, he'd let me. So that's not an invasion of privacy. I just don't do it because I think it's an invasion of privacy, and I trust him. I can't believe he rated her a 7. A 7 is average. If we're talking like percentage wise, that is 7 out of 10. That is 70%. And then the fucking nail in the coffin, wife material. But if I could combine her personality with my ex's body, she'd be perfect. Holy shit. I would have ended it right there. I probably would have just not talked to this person anymore. They don't even live together? Great. You don't even have to talk to him again. You don't have to see him again. Oh my god. And then he's saying it's just guy talk and that everybody else was roasting your girlfriends. All right, go jump off the cliff too then, right? And now his friends are messaging her. That means he's probably not actually sorry. He's just afraid he's mad he got caught. Just like the last story. He's just like fucking Chloe. He's mad he got caught, and that's why his friends are messaging you. If his friends had any kind of respect, then they wouldn't be messaging you saying that you invaded his privacy. That's probably how he's still continuing to talk about you to them. That's insane. Listen to your friends. You should rethink the whole relationship. Go on that trip with your bestie and fuck that guy. Throw away those 2 years. He's he's the 27-year-old. He's onk. You're good. You're in your prime, girl. This is like the perfect time to start dating around, honestly. Like men, I don't think they truly learn or change until they find somebody that they want to. This guy's 27. He's like, I don't know, maybe this will be the time that he learns and he'll treat the next girl right and actually just appreciate her. Or honestly, I don't even think this guy deserves love. I'm just kidding. That was a little harsh. But he's got to do a lot of reflecting. And I don't know. I'm a big advocate of your partner's friends are basically a reflection of them. The oldest friends sound like assholes, so there's no way there's not gonna be like one unicorn in a group that doesn't at least somewhat act like the rest of them, because if that was the case, they would just leave if they were that disrespectful. I would, if it was me, I'd be petty and get the rest of the girlfriends in my own group chat and let them know that this happened as well, so that they can cut the ties loose as soon as possible as well with the rest of these fucking assholes. Oh my god, I hate degenerates. Let's read the update and then we'll read some comments. Update. Hi everyone, I have an update for those who wanted one. First of all, I followed your advice and went on the trip with my best friend instead. We had an amazing time. Whoever who said my original post was AI generated, I honestly wish it was, but unfortunately, this was my real life. Also, a few people were confused because I originally said the trip was non-refundable and wondered how I still went. What I meant was, I had told him I was canceling his birthday trip. I still had time to change the booking, so instead of canceling it completely, I changed the reservation and took my best friend with me. W. While we were away, my now ex-boyfriend absolutely blew up my phone. I put it on silent and enjoyed the trip. When we got back, I finally read all of his messages. They were full of apologies, telling me how sorry he was, how much he loved me, and asking me to forgive him. Instead, I packed up all of his things, went to his place, gave them back to him, and ended the relationship. So that's the update. Thank you to everybody who commented on my original posts, gave some advice, and helped me realize I deserve better. I really appreciate all of you. Wow, that's a great update. That's exactly what I was hoping for. This is exactly how you handle the relationship when some shit like this happens, because if something this massive happens in your relationship, I don't think there's any coming back from it. So, good job, OP. I'm proud of you. I know you're never gonna hear this, but I'm proud of you. This was 2 days ago, so she's ready for Hot Girl Summer. And this guy seriously sucks. I mean, I hope he reflects. I know I was a little brash earlier and I said he doesn't deserve love. He doesn't deserve love if he doesn't reflect on this and fucking learn from it. But I don't know. I'm a man hater. They're not gonna change. They're not gonna truly change. They're not gonna be a good boyfriend unless they find a woman that they feel like they want to do that for. So get him out of here. Wow. I know that was only 3 stories, but I'm riled up right now. A lot of assholes today. I love only picking the asshole stories on accident. I don't know. I think it's just because I like rage baiting and I pick the titles for assholes. But that's it for this video. I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for being here in the first place. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do. I love you so much. See you next time. Bye.